central Vietnam has been pushed into a prolonged emergency. Weeks of violent weather have drowned towns, torn apart roads, and uprooted thousands of lives. What began as a weakening storm has unfolded into one of the region's most punishing disasters in recent memory. The damage does not belong to a single place. From Quang Tri and Hue to Da Ang, Jalai, Dutlak, Kanoa, and Lamong, the landscape is bent under the weight of water. Villages, cities, and mountain corridors face the same crisis under different forms. The impact spreads faster than any system can respond, transforming wide regions into unpredictable disaster zones. In the highlands, the danger starts with the earth itself. Rain seeps into steep slopes until they become unstable, then detach without warning. Entire hillsides collapse, consuming homes and roads in a matter of seconds. What stands in the afternoon may vanish by dawn, leaving behind exposed rock and shattered foundations. Fatalities rise with each landslide and flood. Nearly 90 lives are lost, with others still missing across remote terrain. For many families, a name sheltered into empty space is the only search method available. In isolated villages, people hold nighttime vigils, listening for any sign of movement beneath the rubble. Yeah. On the coast, the disaster forms a different shape. In Can Hoa, the Kai River swells rapidly, climbing toward 8.15 meters at the Dong Trang station. Alarms escalate as authorities prepare for levels rarely reached in this river system. Officials stand on riverbanks measuring each centimeter with growing concern. Nha Trang and its surrounding districts take the full force of rising water. Homes, shops, and schools fill with 0.5 meter to more than 2 meters of floodwater. Residents climb to rooftops, not to observe the storm, but to escape it. Some wait hours before rescue arrives, soaked and shivering as the river creeps higher. Yeah. Saturated streets become silent waterways. Motorbikes, once the pulse of the city, vanish beneath oily currents. Power lines fail, neighborhoods lose light, and familiar landmarks disappear under brown water. A place designed for movement becomes a landscape of stillness and uncertainty. Noise. The disaster is driven by atmospheric collision, not coincidence. The remnants of Storm Koto merged with a strong cold surge pushing south, pinning moisture over central Vietnam. The result, rainfall reaching 180 to 230 millimeters in a single burst at multiple stations. Meteorologists describe the pattern as persistent, concentrated, and unusually destructive. The mountains shoulder a heavy burden. Soaked slopes fracture, releasing cascades of mud that block highways and isolate entire districts. What was once a road becomes a scar of broken soil. Trucks and ambulances are abandoned, unable to navigate the shifting landscape. Isolation becomes its own emergency. Families run low on fuel, water, and medicine as roads vanish and mobile networks collapse. Neighbors call out across darkness, unsure if anyone can hear them. In some areas, food supplies are rationed to stretch across days with uncertain futures. In some districts, disaster arrives not from the sky, but from infrastructure. A reservoir forced to discharge water floods more than 1,000 households overnight. People flee through sudden currents, carrying children above their heads. Flashlights flicker in the rain, guiding desperate routes between submerged homes. Evacuation becomes a nightly ritual. Residents pack legal documents and essentials into plastic bags and move towards safer ground. They travel slowly, guided by flashlights and instinct, unsure what waits behind them. For many, the journey is not a one-time flight, but a repeated cycle of retreat and return. Morning exposes a different disaster than night concealed. Bridges are twisted, roads are torn open, and drainage channels are buried under mud. boat crews patrol streets that no longer resemble a city grid. The familiar order of urban life dissolves into scattered, unrecognizable fragments. The rising number of dead reflects not only severity, but geography. A disaster stretched from highlands to coast demands response in places separated by hours of blocked terrain. No system can reach all points at once. Authorities acknowledge that long-term recovery will take months, if not years. Uhu. Authorities activate localized response protocols built for speed. Teams mobilize resources on site, reinforce risky areas, and coordinate evacuations. But each decision carries risk, release water, or risk structural failure. These choices unfold under pressure with little margin for error. Communities fill the gaps where systems cannot reach. Volunteers wade through debris, rescue trapped neighbors, and share food across damaged settlements. Survival becomes collective rather than individual.